This is an insanely good week for GTA Online players who are looking to get their hands on some incredibly effective but really cheap vehicle as well as property purchases here in this game. Rockstar dropped a massive round of Black Friday vehicle and property discounts that were basically this year, funny enough, they're actually lumped in with the rest of the weekly event discounts, so they're active all week long. But nonetheless, the theme of today's video is the typical Black Friday discounts we're going to see in today's video, some of which are rare and removed from the game, and we actually talked about them in the weekly update guide from yesterday on Thanksgiving. But we're going over all of the other discounts that we didn't talk about, and we have so many. We have like over 35, I'm pretty sure. So this is going to be probably a longer video, but let's get right into it and start talking about all the performance, customization, and the value that these vehicles and properties bring to your GTA Online experience and account. Let's start off with the important property discounts for this week first, then we'll move into like Warstock discounts, then into Legendary Motorsport, Southern San Andreas Super Autos, Dock Tees, all of that stuff, because we have discounts basically on every single in-game website. So first, let's start off with 35% off all hangar properties as well as all hangar upgrades and modifications. So whenever it comes to the hangar style, lighting, floor graphics, office furniture, living quarters, workshop, all of those are discounted. Owning a hangar in GTA Online not only is going to offer you a dedicated space to store and showcase all your aircraft, but you also get a great business opportunity through the air freight cargo missions. And despite not being the most lucrative business for a solo player, it's actually still pretty good if you grind it. And strategic planning and updates like the San Andreas Mercenaries update, which of course introduced the land sourcing as well as passive crate sourcing through Rooster, enhanced this business's profitability by a considerable margin. And we also permanently got tripled payouts from the December 2022 LS Drug Wars DLC update as well. So the hangar is definitely worth buying this week. Not only that, but all salvage yard properties and upgrades and modifications are also going to be 35% off this week. So if you want to get yourself a salvage yard, definitely do it. Again, another good strategic opportunity here with different upgrades and services. You could store your salvaging vehicles for profit. You get access to the claimable vehicles through the vehicle robberies whenever we have them. You get reduced operational time with staff upgrades, good passive income with the wall safe and the tow truck missions. Ideal locations are going to be like the one I have here in Strawberry because you get good accessibility to it, and it's also good for the tow truck missions. The salvage yard is a good long-term investment. Just don't get the one up by Paleto Bay. And of course, the vehicle robberies, while they do have a cooldown of 1 week and you get new ones refreshed every single Thursday, still a good opportunity to take advantage of the salvage yard property this week in GTA Online. Next, we have the arcades. All arcade properties, upgrades, and modifications as well are going to be 30% off this week, and purchasing an arcade in this game, I'd say it's highly recommended here. One, you need it to do the lucrative Diamond Casino Heist, and this week, Diamond Casino Heist is going to guarantee you diamonds as the loot this week, so that's fantastic. You can manage all your biker businesses, as well as the hangar business and the CEO cargo and vehicle cargo through the Master Control Terminal. You can store up to 10 vehicles in the arcade's dedicated garage, and you can also boost your passive income by adding arcade machines, and that's going to give you money for your wall safe. You can have a personal quarter so you can spawn there, things like that. The biggest flex you can get here in GTA Online, or one of the biggest, is going to be the Galaxy Super Yacht plus all modifications this week. They're going to be 40% off. Now, yachts, like I said, they're a flex tool. The one good purpose they serve, besides just an item to blow crazy amounts of money on, is the yacht missions, which you can do. Honestly, I actually find them quite fun. They're not in any way a meta way of making money, but if you just want extra missions associated with it, that could be a reason to get the yacht. And there's 3 different yachts you can get. You can get the Aquarius, the Orion, or the Pisces as well. All of these are going to be 40% off. Next up on Elitas Travel, more flex tools, we have the Luxor Deluxe. That's 50% off. You can get it for $5 million. Basically, when it comes to the Luxor Deluxe, it's distinguishable because of that solid gold construction it has. It actually is different than the normal Luxor. You get improved braking, but it suffers from poor handling and acceleration due to the increased weight from the gold, surprisingly. It's lavish. It's not worth it for practicality reasons, but again, just a way to blow your money. We also have the Swift Deluxe as well as the normal Swift. These are going to be 50% off. The Swift actually is going to be one of the fastest and most agile helicopters in GTA Online. You could seat up to 4 players who can use rifles and LMGs out the windows. You know, its high speed is going to be counterbalanced by weak armor. It can't take any explosive shots or anything like that, and it is vulnerable, but nonetheless, it is what it is. And the normal Buckingham Luxor as well is going to be 50% off as well, so you can get it for 800 grand. Basically, like I said, very similar to the normal Luxor, or the Luxor Deluxe, excuse me, but just actually a little bit faster just because of the fact it's not solid gold, or quote unquote in the lore of the game, solid gold. Now here's the big discounts on Warstock. The Buckingham weaponized Kanata is going to be on discount here. You can get it for $1.692 million. You can get it for 50% off. This honestly is a nice helicopter. You get agility blended with advanced weaponry. You get a dual 50 caliber minigun set with missile launchers. You lack all sorts of defensive capabilities though, so you're going to be extremely vulnerable despite it being a very offensive helicopter. Not really worth it in my opinion, but what is worth it here is this Mammoth F-160 Raiju here. This is definitely a vehicle you want to pick up this week here in GTA Online. It's only 30% off, but this jet excels in GTA because you get unique hybrid capabilities. You could do vertical and horizontal flight transitions akin to the Hydra, but this is also going to be the fastest aircraft in its class. You get exceptional handling, you get a stealth mode for evasive tactics against players, and it's armed with dual explosive cannons as well as missiles. It's a very formidable contender in air combat. Obviously, it requires skillful piloting due to the lack of countermeasures though, so definitely keep that in mind. Next up is the Pegassi Toreador. This is again 50% off. You can get it for $2.125 million. It's basically the successor to the Stromberg, so it excels with its rocket propulsion. You get top tier homing missiles. It's great for all sorts of vehicle combat. You can submerge yourself underwater with it, but the use of it in missions has been patched. It's been limited for a while due to Rockstar's more recent restrictions, but unfortunately, it's just not an absolute must-have purchase long term if you want to use it for missions because you're actually blocked from using it, but it's still great in free roam. Next up, we have the B-11 Strike Force, which is discounted here. Now, this jet as well, this is something that you can get in the game for 35% off this week for $2.47 million. Again, highly maneuverable, highly durable. It's a strafe run jet. It's a prime choice for all sorts of dogfights. You can outrun competitors that are using like the Pyro. You can withstand significant amounts of damage, including up to 5 homing missiles. It's effective air brakes as well. It's got good stability on the ground, good tactical flexibility. 30% discount or 35% discount, excuse me, makes this a must-have this week in GTA Online as well. Next up here is the Imponti Deluxo. This is another discounted vehicle you can get for 50% off. This car is going to stand out in the game for its dual mode capability. So you get smooth driving on land with decent speed and good handling, but you can also hover in the air or over water. You get equipped with missiles and machine guns. Definitely recommended for versatile travel and combat. And then you can see below it the Stromberg, also 50% off this week. This car is actually definitely a must-have as well. You get unique amphibious capabilities as well, just like the Toreador. You get fair handling and speed on land with average acceleration. You can get that submarine effect for underwater travel. It's faster than traditional like submersibles and subs in the game, but of course it requires careful handling to manage your momentum, and it is vulnerable if the driver door is lost, so just keep that in mind. Next up, the Joe built P996 laser. This is going to be 35% off this week. You get absolutely stellar acceleration with this jet. Players love it. You get exceptional maneuverability. It shines in air combat because you get, again, powerful dual explosive cannons and missiles, but recent updates have kind of nerfed it and curtailed its offensive dominance in my opinion. The jet's sensitivity in the air as well as its probably just more modest armor are going to require more skilled handling in my opinion, but you get good short takeoff capabilities, robust climb rates, and it's overall just very, very good while it is vulnerable. Just keep that in mind. Then next up, we have the normal Oppressor here. This is basically a glide bike. You can get this vehicle for 50% off as well. You get advanced weaponry with it. It has high speeds. It's great for quick escapes and aerial combat, and you can get across the map decently fast while only rarely touching the ground to regain your aerial momentum, so keep that in mind. It's a good one. I recommend you pick it up. Now we'll of course move on over to Legendary Motorsport. Here you can see we have the Ubermacht Niobe. Now this is going to be a vehicle that's 35% off this week. It's a really great sports car. It's one of the best handling in the game. It honestly feels like you're driving on rails, and it's a player's favorite from the Bottom Dollar Bounty DLC update, so keep that in mind. Much better than the SC1. We also have here the Grati Italy GTO Stinger TT. This is going to be 50% off. It is a mouthful in the name of the car, but nonetheless, it's a really good car that excels in this game. Top speed is 132 miles an hour or up to 168.5 miles an hour if you have the HSW upgrades applied if you're on next gen. It's one of the fastest cars in the game. Really solid defensive features, good resistance to RPGs and homing missiles. Handling can be challenging at high speeds, and it also lacks bulletproof windows, but overall, great vehicle. Next up, the Anis ZR350, another tuner's car that released here, and you can get this one that's on discount this week for 30% off. When it comes to this car, you get a good respectable top speed and acceleration, but it's gonna lag in the traction department as well as stability department compared to its peers like the Jester RR, for example. You have a tendency to oversteer, so you need to be cautious while you're handling and driving this car. Adding having a spoiler is going to mitigate some of your traction issues and give you better downforce, but that being said, it's not the most beginner-friendly vehicle to drive, and it's also kind of expensive, even at 30% off. Next up, the Progen Emirates, definitely worth it. It's very comparable, in my opinion, to something like the Benefactor Krieger or like the T20. High acceleration, amazing top speed, definitely challenging handling dynamics due to its more like floaty response over uneven terrain or corners, but again, excellent traction that allows for sharp turns. It does have an advanced handling flag, but it doesn't really have an impact on the car's performance, so don't let that deter you. This vehicle is 30% off. Same with 30% off the Truffaut Thrax here, and this is going to be a car with exceptional grip, remarkable acceleration, really impressive top speed. You can navigate through congested traffic with ease. The only minor shortcoming of this car is going to be high speed cornering. It's going to outpace many supercars in terms of races. The average durability here is going to require some cautious handling though, because it does kind of crumple a little bit if you don't have armor upgrades. And even if you do have armor upgrades on it and it's fully upgraded, you're still going to notice like a lot of damage that this vehicle takes in terms of its cosmetics. The Shitsu Hakuchou Drag is also going to be 50% off this week. This is basically an enhanced version of the standard Hakuchou, and it stands out in this game, one, because its unique design. It's a drag bike. You get the extended swing arm. That's going to prevent wheeling, but it's going to allow for a top speed of 126.5 miles an hour. Of course, you can put HSW upgrades on this on next gen, and that's going to be excellent for time trials despite the understeer you may get with this bike. And then in the special category, all the open wheel cars, the Benefactor BR8, the Declasse DR1, the Progen PR4, and the Ocelot R88 are also going to be 25% off this week. All of the open wheel vehicles in this game are worth buying for players if you crave high speed and you want precision-based racing experiences, obviously with like F1 or IndyCar inspired origins. With all these cars, you get excellent handling, advanced aerodynamics, super powerful acceleration, and they're honestly indispensable for the open wheel races because it's just super fun. If you're going to buy a couple this week, or if you just want one to buy and you want to know what the best is, I recommend either the Benefactor BR8 or the Progen PR4. Now on Southern San Andreas Super Autos, let's talk about some of the vehicles you can get. We have the Declasse Vigoro ZX convertible. This car is going to be 50% off. It obviously resembles the 2016 to 2018 Chevy Camaro SS convertible. High torque engine, you're going to get up to 125 miles an hour with this car. It's got substantial power, but the handling can be a little bit challenging if you're not used to it. It's specifically in the rain, but it's fun to drive. It's good. You're going to get a little bit of oversteer, and it's also susceptible to flipping over during high-speed maneuvers, but nonetheless, still worth it this week. Now, with all that out of the way, that is basically every discounted Black Friday vehicle for this week in GTA Online. We have a couple others though. If you're on next gen, the Pegasi weaponized Ignis is also available for 50% off, but I can't showcase that because I'm on PC, so you'll just have to tune in for this part of the video. Of course, that car is going to be notable because of its superb acceleration, top speed of 125 miles an hour. It's all-wheel drive. It's got insane downforce. It excels in handling and stability. It can be a little bit unpredictable at high speeds, but it's also equipped with a missile lock-on jammer, remote minigun turret. It lacks heavy armor, but it does compensate for that with offensive capabilities as well as enhanced maneuverability, particularly when you upgrade it with HSW, and then you'll get way above 125 miles an hour with it. Also, as a next-gen exclusive discount, the Coil Cyclone 2. It's like blisteringly fast with HSW upgrades. It's a top contender for time trials, races, things like that. It is an electric vehicle, so it is going to top out at a certain point, but it's insanely fast on next gen, so keep that in mind. We also have 50% off that Vapid Bullet, Emperor ETR1, the Benefactor Serrano, as well as the Dubachi Rapid GT Classic and the Canis Kalahari. Those are all good vehicles. I reviewed them in my weekly update guide from yesterday on Thursday on Thanksgiving. You can get them all from Simeon's this week. I won't go into detail on this video what those cars are like because, we've kind of been through everything else already, and I did just talk about them yesterday. So if you want to get the basically discounted vehicle performance customization reviews of those vehicles at Simeon's, they are rare and removed while they are discounted this week. You can't get them on in-game websites. You have to go to Simeon's Premium Deluxe Motorsport this week to obtain them. And now with all that said, we're going to be wrapping things up right here. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys had a great Thanksgiving. Drop a like if you guys enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Check me out over on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram if you guys want to see more consistent GTA Online as well as Red Dead Online live streams over on there. I'm trying to grow that community, and so all the support and lurks there are appreciated. And also, have a great rest of your day. I'll see you guys in the next one tomorrow with the free vehicles guide for this week. Adios, amigos.